Life is a journey. You can see amazing things, taste fine foods, and meet wonderful people. And if you're fortunate, you can accomplish all of this in one trip. Discover Canada's award-winning Rocky Mountaineer Rail Journey. Book by April 30th and receive up to $800 per couple in added value to enhance your vacation. Some conditions apply.
Welcome back, folks. Catherine Freshley is here today from Third Mutual. She is, of course, a board member, and upcoming meeting is going on. And I know you probably had a little bit of an exciting weekend watching the end of that Masters, right? I mean,
yes, I did.
That was something. I know I emailed her on Friday saying, "Are you going to be watching this?" And she said, "Of course." Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, every month, of course, is the monthly meeting, and coming up from Third is on Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. We, of course, show that live here. And as everyone always mentions, it's a good idea to come to these meetings and voice your opinions on things. And this meeting is really no exception. There's a lot going on right now. And one of the main things right now is, of course, this is the budget season, so to speak. And this is where you really get into the different committees and see what each area needs. And
Right.
This is a perfect time for people to come in and really talk about what their views are and what they feel they'd like to see in this community.
Well, I think that, and I'm speaking really for myself, okay, because I believe it's very important for the community to have an understanding when we're developing the budget of how the budget itself is composed. Last summer I ran a session in the evening trying to explain to people, because our budgeting process here is fairly complex. Most people just really don't have that understanding, because you've got the Golden Rain Foundation, which is,
Right.
it's not a master as such, but it is the trustee of our property. And and the way the funds flow is, GRF pays all of our bills, but also the determining factor in a lot of our costs is that you've got the budget business planning committee that's made up of 2 members from the treasurer and the president of each housing mutual and
Right.
of the towers, and then 3 members of the GRF board. And it's at that meeting where the foundation for the budget pretty much takes place, at least for a large portion of the cost, because that's the point at which the compensation and benefits decision is subsequently made.
Right.
And then that's going to flow through all of the other costs. So,
And you've always been a great advocate of no matter what side somebody is on a particular item on the budget, just to get the information out so people can make an informed decision.
Absolutely.
And form an opinion. And every new project, we'll get into the GRF recreation plan in just a second.
Right.
But whether it's just a fantastic and everybody's for it, but they all cost somewhere along the line.
That's absolutely right. And I think it's members of the community, if you need to get involved to understand. I think when people understand a subject, then at least when they make a decision, it's an informed decision. Right. The thing that really bothers me most is when people get involved and they make decisions without the information, because then it becomes very subjective as opposed to being an objective decision. Because if we can lay out the numbers in front of people, then they can decide.
Right.
Am I willing to spend this or don't? Am I willing to have this or not?
Exactly.
And that is far more important to me in how we move forward with the community,
Right.
as opposed to not providing that information. And I understand a lot of people say, well, I don't understand financials. Well, part of what I used to do when I was doing consulting work, I used to run classes, actually having to teach within my clients, because even managers and engineering managers, people, they didn't always understand how to read an income statement or balance sheet.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
And this corporation and our community, the way the books are kept, because the books are not kept on a natural accounting basis, particularly for the housing mutuals. And that's what's so difficult for many people, you know, because even if you're an accountant, you're used to seeing wages and compensation and broken
Right.
down. That's not how the budget is for the housing mutuals. See,
Yeah.
because the housing mutuals are done on a service level basis. So getting that understanding, you know, or having somebody explain it to you, I think is helpful.
Right, and one of the big items that has been ongoing and is coming up again on Wednesday is the Recreation Master Plan presented by GRF. We're going to show that meeting live on Wednesday. It'll be here in the boardroom, so if you want to go down to that, you certainly can. But this is, they're going to they presented it a while back, a few weeks back. They're going to be showing some alternatives tomorrow and options. Right. And this is the time, again, for people to get involved with this because going forward, it will be, as they say, a big ticket item.
That's right, and I think it absolutely is very important for the community because they're going to be presenting 4 different options. Okay. And it's laid out in the plan. The plan is available for people to to obtain at the front desk, so they can read it and get an understanding of what's in it and what is each of the different options. And and each option has a different cost to us. Say,
right.
For example, you get the first 3 options can run anywhere from $18 to $24 million going forward, spent over maybe the next 10 or 15 years. The final option, which is status quo, is basically that which is already planned and funded through our reserves, which will be about $5 million. So one of the real questions that the community has to address, and I raised it when at the last GRF meeting, is do we want to pledge, and use our annual transfer fee, which last year to GRF was roughly $1.5 million. Do we want to borrow against the future cash flow of those funds? See,
right.
And because that's the only way that you're going to be expanding the community is through that cash flow and pledging to the bank then that money for the next 10 to 15 years, depending upon what this expenditure is going to be.
Right.
One of the issues, though, that a lot of people will have is that, that GRF are the trustees, and this is what makes our community so unique, is that GRF, as well as being a corporation, see, it's not a master corporation like you see down in Irvine, but it's set up, they are the trustees for the GRF trust, and all the residents are the trustors.
Right.
So everything that GRF, the trustees, are doing is for the benefit of the trustors. And in the trust, it basically has the trustees responsible for the maintenance of this community, and also for, because it started in the 60s, for at least going forward to a build-out,
right,
which we've accomplished. But it doesn't say in the trust that the trustees have the obligation to take the extra land that we have available and to do development work.
Right.
And that's a real issue because many of us like the open space.
And whatever side you're on, just getting the information, and that's the main thing. And either going down to the meeting on Wednesday or viewing it on Channel 6, you're going to gain this knowledge and form your opinion. And again, whatever that opinion may be, you may be, yes, I like this option, I like that one, I don't like any of them, but it's getting the information more than anything.
Absolutely.
An informed opinion.
Yeah, and I thought last Thursday the article in the Globe was very well done. I thought the journalist did a good job of summarizing that which had been presented, and so it. I think if everybody had a chance to read that would provide them even more additional information.
Yeah, it definitely would. Another topic that you've talked about a little bit is that maybe people haven't heard about, but the signage for the Village Greens, particularly the 19 restaurant and lounge.
Yeah, this was one that, and if anybody watched the GRF board meeting a couple weeks ago, it was a situation where it was an item on the GRF agenda to allow the 19 restaurant and lounge to put a big advertising sign on the front of the village greens. I happen to have been on, I was part of the development committee on that, and when we were designing that building and going through the process with the committee, one of the things that we had basically decided was that we would not put, we wouldn't put the name of the building on the building. That's why we have a monument down there that says the Village Greens.
Right.
And so at the GRF meeting, I objected to doing that because for a couple of reasons. One is that I think it's not consistent with what we had decided when we were going to build the building. It'd be nice to put 19 restaurant and lounge right down there, right above the village or right below the Village Greens on the monument. Fits perfectly.
Something just small, like
something
rendering.
small,
Right.
because and I, as you well know, I'm a golfer, so I play golf all over, and I don't know of any golf course where the clubhouse has the restaurant name and lounge on top. It will have it oftentimes at the plaque.
Right.
You go to Anaheim Hills, or you go to Dad Miller, which are public courses. They don't do the advertising for a contractor that's running the food service activity.
Right.
So I expressed at that point the opposition. I think the community needs to have that understanding. I was, so I think that that again, people need to talk with their GRF directors because they did pass a resolution
Right, they
allowing
did.
that to go forward.
Yes, they did.
And, and it's something that many in the community have disagreed with, only because, GRF, professional community management. Why isn't that on our building here? You're the largest contractor we have. And if I were PCM management, I'd say, boy, I would love to have professional community management right across our administration building.
Right, exactly. Well, as we've been talking about here, we're just about out of time. The key word here is being informed.
Absolutely.
A key phrase, I should say. And that is what, again, you talk about all the time. Whatever side somebody comes down, it's being informed, and then you can make that educated opinion. And again, if you want to go to the third meeting, tomorrow's, of course, the monthly board meeting. It's at 9:30 a.m. We'll be showing that live and then replayed on Thursday and then Wednesday next week. Catherine will be there, and thank you very much for coming on.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity, and all the third board members appreciate the opportunity
Where we
that
like you coming
TV6
up.
allows us to come
It's
in.
wonderful, and
Thank you.
we both enjoyed the Masters. All
Okay,
right.
yeah, we
Folks,
did.
we're going to be coming right back and learning about a new type of, a cross between a bike and a scooter called the Spike. Coming up next.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.